toxic masculinity.
Socialism. 91% of Venezuelans struggle to find food.
Thank you, Doug. That was
Venezuelans?
amazing. And you remembered 91% because I've written 90% on there. Study, over 90% of Venezuelan households struggle to find food. So I think you guys are all aware that Venezuela embraced communism. That was an amazing transition.
Well,
I didn't even do that on
isn't
purpose.
United States doing the same thing right now?
That's what I just said. I literally just said that.
Sorry. Well, when I hear Venezuela, of course we knew before that they were struggling to find food. It was like while COVID and stuff. I remember pictures of money everywhere on the streets. Everywhere.
Because their money was worth nothing.
Isn't it
It's worth nothing.
United States doing the same thing right now? Throwing money into illegal immigrants? Like giving stimulus and printing out more and more money?
Yeah, we're going to get... Yeah, they're trying to make us Venezuela. Yeah.
Like, and I saw this article, people found like in the old house, like some person was collecting dollars, like hiding it. It was worth $400,000 back then. Now it was $60,000.
Right.
So money just being...
Oh, it's much worse than that. It's gotten even worse. But I have a very, very good friend from Venezuela. His name's Eduardo, and he is one of the most conservative guys I know. And the reason he's so conservative, well, one, he's a religious Christian. What? You're gonna get your phone again? But secondly, his mother still lives in Venezuela, and she's still suffering under this regime. And it's just absolutely despicable what they're putting their people through. They were the richest country in South America. They were the wealthiest country in South America.
And what happened? They regulated all of these businesses?
Yeah, they basically nationalized all the businesses. They went and they became socialists. They had the AOC Green New Deal utopia.
Chris, people just paid $12 for me to get my phone, okay? $10 and $2.
Is that what they wrote?
Yeah.
They wrote, "Go get your phone." You guys
I love
fighting
you guys.
fighting against me. All right, let's hear. Study, over 90% of Venezuelan households struggle to find food. This is so sad. A Venezuelan human rights non-governmental organization found in a national poll that over 90% of people living in the country were food insecure. The office of President Juan Guaido noted Sunday. So Juan Guaido doesn't actually have any power, but he's kind of the leader of Venezuela. But the guy who actually has all the power, his name's Maduro, and Maduro is a complete degenerate. Nicolas Maduro, he
Did Maduro degenerate? It almost sounds like he has this...
Maduro degenerate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his full name. Yeah, he's the
last
Marxist. He's the communist. So it's here, Guaido, who remains largely powerless. There you go. Despite his status as the constitutional head of the state of the country, has repeatedly condemned the regime of socialist dictator Nicolas Maduro, starving the Venezuelan people since the former was sworn in as president in early 2019, when Maduro's last legitimate term as president ended. So he's no longer legitimately the president, but he's the president because he has all the power. Socialist mismanagement of the economy and extreme corruption on the part of Maduro's top henchmen have devastated what was once Latin America's richest nation, leaving many relying on eating garbage to survive, which is the image up here, obviously. Or surviving on barely one meal a day since at least 2016. A study published last year that found that 15% of Venezuelans depend on consuming food scraps found in piles of garbage to survive. That's so crazy. The food security survey highlighted by the office of the illegitimate president on Sunday was published by the Venezuelan Observatory for Food Security and Nutrition last week. The poll found that only 9% of Venezuelans enjoy food security, meaning they have a stable source of food that they can rely on and know that they will be able to feed themselves the next time they are hungry. I've endured food insecurity because I was so poor after college. And my parents were like, "We're not helping you. You can figure it out." And I was like, "I don't think I can." I survived. I survived. They were right. Okay, let's see here. Over 90% of Venezuelans who do not have guaranteed access to food significantly surpassed the numbers in a similar survey by Human Rights Watch published in 2018. At the time, the organization found 80% of the country could not access the amount of food they needed to survive, and the average Venezuelan had lost 24 pounds involuntarily in 2017. Now, this is where things get kind of crazy. The weight loss statistic is the most recent one available of its kind in the country. So check this out. How far down do I have to go to find this? There's a bunch of other statistics about how poor people are and how desperate they are to survive. But I wanted to read. Okay, yeah. Well, let me read this. This is nuts. Okay. Ovzan, OVSAN, has also warned that the Chinese coronavirus pandemic has worsened the food crisis in the country. Maduro has. This is a very poorly written article, by the way. This guy did he made a lot of mistakes. He's just a bad writer. Maduro has enacted a bizarre lockdown schedule known as 7+7, in which the nation is forced into a strict lockdown. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard. They're forced into a strict lockdown for 7 days, followed by no restrictions on movement whatsoever for the next 7 days. It's like the weirdest thing. No evidence suggests that the system works it's been implemented in no other country in the world. Okay, everybody, you're locked in your houses. Nobody's allowed to leave. We will shoot you if you leave your house. 7 days later, you can go do what you want now for 7 days. Okay, get back into your houses for 7 days. Like, what a weird... Why would he think that would work?
No.
It's bizarre. I guess
Maybe he follows this logic when what doesn't make sense will work. Like all of these COVID restrictions.
Yeah, like communism.
As crazy you go.
I mean, if you think about it, like coronavirus, if you get sick, it only lasts like a week, right? So maybe if everybody who's sick goes home.
I took a screenshot. Gavin Newsom today tweeted, no joke, California's COVID-19 positivity rate is 1.2%. Not only is it the lowest in the country, it's the lowest positivity rate California has experienced in a year. The light at the end of the tunnel is bright, all caps. First comment under his tweet is, yo bro, you scared of Caitlyn?
I think Caitlyn may be the next governor of California. I'm still going to call her Bruce and him. But
I call her Katerina because it's Russian version of Caitlyn.
What's the Russian version of Bruce?
No.
Bruce.
Boris.
Bryce? Boris Jenner.
We're crazy.
That's kind of funny. Okay, but this thing gets even funnier. If you could talk about people starving to death as funny, this is it. Okay. Let me go down here. So here's so this is pretty crazy. Venezuelan civil society groups first warned the world that the nation had run out of food in 2016 after 3 years of Maduro in power. Since then, stories of Venezuelans hunting cats and dogs for food, killing and eating zoo animals. I can understand some zoo animals, other zoo animals not so much. I've heard that tortoise soup is like the most delicious thing in the world.
Which one?
Tortoise meat. Tortoise.
Tortoise?
Yeah. The British say tortoise. Isn't that weird? They say tortoise. They don't say tortoise. Tortoise. Just sounds wrong. Anyway, but there's a story of a tortoise from. It took like they went to the Galapagos Islands. I think it was the Galapagos Islands, right?
My uncle.
Why are you interrupting me? I will beat you.
I won't interrupt you. It's about turtles and soup.
Yeah, hit me.
So my parents had a turtle for like years. It's still alive. It's still growing.
Okay.
It's theirs. This turtle. And my uncle, when he was alive, he was always joking that we can make a soup out of the turtle and make an ashtray out of her. What's this called? Like her
shell. Yeah, that's very cruel.
Yeah.
Especially because you were like a child.
My uncle died. My turtle's still alive.
The turtle killed him. The turtle tripped him
No,
over.
unfortunately.
Yeah, no, he was like an alcoholic, right?
Alcohol.
Yeah. No, but this so Charles Darwin and various explorers, right? They went to the Galapagos Islands, right? And or did they go to the Canary Islands? I think they went to the Galapagos Islands, right? Yeah. And they went ahead and they found this this giant turtle, the giant tortoise, and they were going to take this tortoise back to England for botanists to look at it. And so they had like several, they had like 6 that they brought, specimens. They brought all the interesting animals they could find back to Britain on the boats. But the crew found that the tortoise was so unbelievably delicious that they ate them all. They ate all the tortoises. Yeah, they apparently taste like beef or something, right? They taste like beef.
Really? Well,
Apparently these tortoises.
Can you legally try it somewhere?
Well, we're going to find out someday. But but it's like it's apparently like a very buttery beef. It's like a very it's like Kobe beef or something. Like it's super super nice. So they would just, I don't know how they prepare it, but they were all throughout the trip they would just eat all these tortoises, and they kept going back to the islands, and it took like a long time for them to finally develop a scientific name for this tortoise, because they were so delicious that they just ate them all. They kept eating them.
Is that now why you can
I think
eat
they
them?
might have gone extinct, actually. I think they might have eaten them into extinction because they were just so damn tasty. But I find that fascinating. I would like to try a similar species, if there is one that still exists. I would like to try this.
Frogs?
Yeah, in France they eat frogs. But I think Darwin was actually part of a society of people who specifically ate exotic animals. They would eat like ostriches and stuff, weird stuff. That was like it was like a club. They would serve up these weird. Anyway, let's keep reading here. So this is pretty fascinating. So they're hunting cats and dogs in Venezuela right now, killing and eating zoo animals, and some people have died after eating toxic vegetables like sour yucca. Isn't yucca what AOC was
said,
telling everybody that they needed to plant in their garden so that they could be like less colonial? Stupid AOC. All right. So this kind of thing has become commonplace in the country. Venezuelans have taken to referring to their starvation and weight loss as the Maduro diet. Which I love that. Okay, so like,
Chris, you're trying to lose some weight.
I know, I need to go move to
Venezuela?
Venezuela for a while. Well, here's why I love that they call it the Maduro diet, right? They're obviously losing weight because they're starving to death, right? Which is a very serious problem. But they have enough, like the people of Venezuela are tough enough and sensible enough to recognize that, to get through a struggle like this, oftentimes to survive, it's best to maintain your sense of humor, right? They've obviously been able to maintain some kind of a sense of humor. And I love that. I just love that. It just kind of shows how how tough these Venezuelan people are. There was a movie in the 90s called like Life is Beautiful. And it was about this Italian Jewish guy in the World War II. He went to like a concentration camp or whatever, but he didn't want his kid to know about what exactly was going on. So he would try to turn it into like some kind of summer camp thing and make it funny and fun, and was always trying to make his kid laugh, and tried to make it seem as nice and fun as possible to sort of spare his kid from the horrors of what they were experiencing. Really great movie. You haven't seen Life is Beautiful, watch it. It actually won the Best Picture Oscar, I think, of that year. I think. But anyway, amazing movie, and everybody should go watch it. I won't tell you how it ends, but there's an ending. There's an ending. Amazing film. Life is Beautiful. Check that out. All right, so that's what I wanted to mention. The joke about the Maduro diet was in honor of the dictator Maduro. Maduro, who is significantly heavier than most Venezuelans. Maduro is fat. On the other hand, Maduro, who is fat and regularly appears on television feasting on empanadas and cake, joked about this mass food shortage in 2016. He says, Maduro's diet gets you hard, no need for Viagra. What a piece of human garbage. What a piece of human garbage. Wealthy Venezuelans in Maduro's inner circle do not appear to lack for any food. They've got a supermarket called Megasis. It's an Iranian-owned supermarket, and it's well stocked for all of their the rich people. He took a luxury trip to Turkey in 2018 that included a stop at a high-end steak restaurant owned by a local communist. So if he was out of the country in Turkey, where was the CIA? Come on, guys. What are you there for? Take that. Anyway, I won't say it because I'll probably get this video banned, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. So that's nice. This is what AOC wants. This is what we're going toward in America with people like Gascon trying to destroy our cities, with people like AOC pushing the Green New Deal, with people that are in the Biden administration pushing us towards socialism. This is what they're going to end up with in America. And in fact, there are some people in America who live like that because of our degenerate leftist policies. All right, well, that is it for the news. Dolly, you don't have anything to say about that, do you? All right, so let's move on to the questions and comments. If you want to say anything, now is the time. Speak to the world or to the, how many people do we have? To the 147 concurrent viewers.
And only 80 likes.
I'm sorry, what?
140 people watch us and 80 likes.
Yeah, what the heck, guys? Like, subscribe. Don't hit the notification bell because you'll get way too many notifications every day. But like and subscribe for sure.
First super chat from Andrew Beerward.
Oh, Frank James wrote, fat, remind you of anyone we know? Oh, that's brutal, Frank. I'm no longer friends with you. That's not... Frank just called me fat. So mean. True, though. True. All right, darling, read, please.
Okay. First super chat from Andrew Beerward. Have your special event in Iowa. Have the butter cow presentation.
Yeah, I've talked to Andrew Beerward, and yeah, he loves Iowa. He thinks Iowa's great. I don't really know anything. I've never been to Iowa.
Me too. Yeah, no, we've never been.
It's very flat. That's all I know. But there's a lot of farms.
Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.